Hello! Today, To Go English Tutorials features the letter F. Fish starts with F, so does the word fin. The fish uses its fins to swim. Some nouns featured in today's story include farm, founder, fact, fiction, fan, friend, foe, fitness, fortune, freedom, false, and food. Some characters are named Francois and Francine, as well as Philip, and some places they find are France and Finland. Flower is a noun too. Try this fun sentence. It may be a fantasy that fairies live in fresh flowers, but it's a fun form of fiction. It may be a fantasy that fairies live in fresh flowers, but it's a fun form of fiction. Or, the funny, fuzzy, and furious wasp found the fragrant flower. The funny, fuzzy, and furious wasp found the fragrant flower. Fury is a noun that means full of anger or rage, like a burning hot fire. His face is full of fury. If you are furious, you are super angry, or if the windy storm is furious, it's very fast, strong, or wild. This is a fan. The fan looks like a flower. Fan is a noun because it is a thing. A fan can also be a person who is very excited about or supportive of something or somebody, especially if it's famous. Fanatic and fanatical are adjective forms of this type of fan. Again, the noun fan is a person whose enthusiasm for a belief is extreme. The adjective fanatical means carrying an interest or enthusiasm to extremes. I'm a fan of my dictionary so that I can find out what words mean. Fragrant is an adjective. Fragrance is a noun. Fragrant means having a pleasant smell. Fragrance is a sweet or pleasant smell. These flowers are fragrant. Their fresh fragrance is fabulous. The opposite of fragrant is foul. Foul is something that smells or tastes bad. I really don't smell that bad. P.U. Stinky. Bye-bye. The fish fled from their foul foe. Was their foul foe a former friend? The fish fled from their foul foe. Was their foul foe a former friend? I'm not sure. A foe is an enemy and is the opposite of friend. Our foes make foul friends. During the e-video lesson, we learned that a fact is proven by evidence and that fiction uses the imagination to make up creative ideas. Fact and fiction are antonyms, so are friend and foe. This is an antonym table or table of opposites. Pay attention to the many antonyms in today's story, then listen carefully and write down as many as you can. When the story is finished, count how many antonyms that you have found. Maybe I've missed a few. Formidable means strong, fierce, or powerful. That tiger was once formidable. Forlorn means sad and lonely. Formidable and forlorn could be antonyms. There are a few extra F vocabulary words from today's story, like the word frigid. Frigid means very cold or lacking a warm manner, unfriendly. Today's story talks about frigid waters north of France. In France, people speak French. Francois is a French name. Bonjour, comment ça va? Of course, today's story features a few verbs too. The fish watched as the girl floated. The mouse is foraging for fresh cheese. And finally, it's time for a story. It's called Francine and the Finnish Fish Farm. On the first Friday in February of 2014, a fabulously fit fish named Francine Franklin was unfortunately forced to live in a fish farm not too far from Finland. As a matter of fact, fabulous Francine had formerly been a fantastically famous, funny, and friendly fitness club founder from the English Channel, just north of France. One fine afternoon, while floating freely amongst the fragrant marine flowers and red fucus, and furiously lifting free weights with her fabulously fit fins, Francine had to find her phone fast. It was on its fourth ring, just as she was finishing up her favorite fitness goal of 45 fin lifts of her 45-pound fucus. On the phone was a fancy French fire eel called Francois. He was one of her first fans who'd become fast friends and fiercely fanatical after finding her fabulously famous fitness club. He was phoning to make her a very fortunate offer to live for free on a fun farm found near Finland. Never one to be frightened of fun and adventure, the famous Francine felt filled with a frenzy to flee her French fitness club to ferry to Finland with her fanatical fan Francois. What Francine fast found out, however, was that this newfound fortune was frankly false, pure fiction in fact. Francine felt frightened to her fins when she'd ferried to the farm and found she'd freshly lost her freedom. It was not a fun farm. It was a Finnish fish farm full of frightened fellow fish. At the frightening Finnish fish farm, she was forlorn as she was forced to finish doing any fitness, stop being fabulously fit, and feed frantically to get fat. Francine was to become food for a Finnish fish fair. Francine was further furious to find that Francois was not a fantastic fan nor friend. In fact, he was a fierce foe who had finished her fun fitness career and forced her to lose her freedom at a furiously foul or stinky fish farm. Unfortunately, the once fearlessly famous Francine had failed to see that getting fat on a Finnish fish farm wasn't fat at all. And fast-talking Francois wasn't so friendly. One frightening afternoon, while feeling forlorn as she foraged for food to help fan her fury and still fiercely fretting about her freedom, she saw a fresh fin not far from her face. She looked up to find fearless Philip, a friendly and fantastically fast dolphin who had found Francine in the frigid Finnish waters. Fearless Philip freed Francine and her frightened friends to flee from the foul Finnish fish farm. Philip and Francine swam fiercely back to freedom in a formidable feat, finishing the swim in fewer than 5 hours. Upon her return to the English Channel, the fortunate Francine and her newfound friend, fearless Philip, became freshly famous as fans from far and wide found her freed from the foul Finnish fish farm and once again doing fantastic fitness at Francine's fabulous fitness club just north of France. The end. The motto of today's story is fancy fast and fanatical friends, offering free fame and fortune, may be found false and become fierce foes. And now it's time for some bonus grammar. Phonics is knowing what sounds letters make. P plus H makes the PH sound, which is fa. Examples include Philip, phone, phrase, fat, dolphin, elephant, graph, and alphabet. Remember those antonyms? Here's a bonus antonym table. Remember, to find a word's antonym, use a thesaurus. Some antonyms in today's story include friendly versus fierce or unfriendly, famous versus unknown or unpopular, fortunate versus unfortunate, lucky versus unlucky, fast versus slow, fun versus boring, brave or bold versus frightened, furious and calm, and formidable versus weak. Did you find any others? Being in captivity means that you're trapped, you're imprisoned, and you can't get out. Being in captivity isn't very much fun. In fact, it's the opposite of freedom. Opposites help us tell stories. Here's a bonus table with 4 more antonyms. Float versus sink, freedom versus captivity, fearless versus fearful, and foul versus pleasant or fragrant. Here's a bonus clip of a fox. This fox wasn't furious at all. In fact, he was furry and friendly. I think he was trying to find some food. Where do you think this fox wanted to go? What do you think the fox wanted to find? Make up your own story and have fun studying English. Bye now.